But you saw a metamorphosis. You really did. You saw a transition. You saw a rebirth of a new guy. You did. And I'm gonna make it big when it's supposed to be made big. And I'm gonna bring it back when it's supposed to be brought back, or put a light on where it should be, when it should be. And what I mean by that, give him credit. Give Joshua credit for redeeming himself, for wanting to redeem himself and his people. But he made a transformation. He became a different guy. I mean, physically he became a different guy. I mean, a different guy. I mean, it was, one of those, like the butterfly, it's a moth and then it's a butterfly. I mean, he got rid of the bulky muscle. The old timers were taboo about that, about weights, to the extreme at least, before they came up with all these different systems where it doesn't have to be to the extreme, where you can still have fluidity in your muscles with weight programs. But he was a Adonis, Joshua. And the old timers, again, that was taboo. It made you stiff. It made you bulky, And he got more svelte muscles. He changed himself. I mean, got rid of the bulky muscles, and he was a whole different athlete, a whole different looking fighter. No doubt about it. And give them credit that one of the reasons why I picked Joshua to win the rematch, and he quit in the first one, he submitted, was because he did quit, because he knew he did. And you can't hide from that. It'll come to you at 2 a.m. Mm-hmm. It'll come to you at 3 a.m. Come to you at inopportune times and bother you, wake you. And I just figured that he's aware of it now. Kind of like Duran, after he said no mas, he spit out those bad words, no mas. And he didn't know the repercussions until he knew the repercussions. When he submitted Joshua, he didn't know the repercussions until he knew the repercussions. And I was bargaining on that. Mm-hmm. I was bargaining that would take him to where he needed to go. And obviously it did. But also was, you could see, one of the reasons I felt more strong about my pick was when I heard he was making a change. And I'll tell you why. Because all it meant to me was that he had taken inventory of himself in a way that I would hope he did. And he recognized it, and something had to change. Some guys, they just say, no, I just have to be better, or I just have to be, what's that mean? Some guys would just say, no, they ignore it. They don't want to face it. They don't want to, look it in the eye, whatever that is. The devil coming to your door and saying, I was there. He looked it in the eye. He looked at what it was. And when they said they were going to, and I saw the pictures of his body, whether it was going to make a difference or not, the difference was that they were accepting responsibility that something had to be different. They were saying something has to be different. And that's all I needed to know. And when he walked into that ring, it wasn't just the body. Here's the part I want to put more of a light on. Yeah, everyone in the world saw the body. He went from a monster truck to a Porsche. Mm-hmm. He went from a Jaguar, if we're going to go into the animal kingdom, a tiger, a lion, to a fox. Mm-hmm. Sly fox. Quick fox, taking little pieces and then running off somewhere. Yeah. And not everybody would like a fox. Some of them wear them on their as coats. But everyone could see that physical change. But I saw the mental change. I saw the within change. He was serious. There was almost a tinge of anger. It was good. Mm-hmm. It was almost a tinge of anger. Like, I'm here to rectify something. I'm angry at the way I was last time I was here. I'm freaking pissed. And there was a controlled fear. Oh, Teddy. Yeah, there was controlled fear. A fear about what could happen if he didn't make it not happen. You know what fear is sometimes? It's such a taboo word in our society. Nobody wants to hear it. Everybody runs away from it. It means you're a coward. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's all around us. It's around us every second. Fear is there to be used. It's there with nature, the same way as fruit on the trees, rain in the sky, wind in the sun. It's there to live. It's there to succeed. It's there to survive. It's a part of our makeup. It's a part of what we need, the necessities we need for life. If we ignore it, we're condemned to not be prepared to face the things that fear tells us to be prepared to face without it. You know what I saw in him with the fear? I saw awareness. The element of awareness. There's a tinge of fear with awareness. Again, people will never use that. Oh, I didn't think of it that way. There's a tinge of fear connected to awareness. If you're aware of something that's important, something that can be difficult, maybe even dangerous, there's a tinge of fear that makes you aware. How are you aware if there's not a tinge of fear to make you aware, to make you ready, to make you alert, to make you cognizant of what you're facing, to make sure that you face it, that you're going to do something about it. I saw that in him. That was the biggest difference I saw. I said, yeah, I knew his body was different. We saw it on the internet weeks before, but we didn't see that look. I saw that look of, I'm going to be a pro tonight. The look you're supposed to have when you walk into a courtroom, into an operating room if you're a doctor, into a classroom if you're a teacher. That look, I'm ready to do my job. Mm-hmm. The first time, what we saw? We saw him laughing and giggling and like it wasn't important. I know some people say, well, he was loose. Yeah, he was real loose, especially when he got dropped a few times and then just put his arms on the ropes and just waited for the referee to stop it.
Even in the build-up, letting Ruiz hold his belts at the weigh-in.
Yeah.
Why would you ever do that?
All of that.
It's just
all of it. But this time he came in lock and loaded.
Yep.
In the right way. Lock and loaded.
And he was angry. He was talking to Ruiz later.
But it was the right kind of anger.
Exactly.
It was not an anger that we use the word, socially as guy's angry. What misplaced anger? No, it was a well-placed anger. It was a personal anger.
Yep.
Angry at himself. He wasn't angry at the guy. He was angry at himself. He was just angry that he allowed himself to behave the wrong way, not to behave the way that he needed to behave. And now he was ready to behave the way that he needed to behave. And again, that was the difference. That's what I noticed. And listen, what I talked about, I'm also going to pull back on it. He was beating a 283-pound guy, but he can only be responsible for his part.
That's right.
He was prepared to be different. Ruiz wasn't prepared the way he needed to be prepared. So before I go crazy and make this guy, something that I shouldn't make him, I'm giving him all the credit he deserves for doing what he had to do with what he had to do it with.
That's a good point.
And he did. But he wasn't in there with Joe Frazier. Mm-hmm. He wasn't in there with George Foreman. He wasn't in there. And I know those guys don't exist anymore, but he wasn't even in there with a prepared Ruiz. Mm-hmm. He was in there with a guy who, again, just like Leon Spinks did, just like Duran did, just like Buster Douglas did, went down that treacherous road of allowing the fame and the money to make you forget about how you want to feel about yourself the day after, and the day after, and the day after.